Yo, you tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Yo, what's going on? It's Levels. We're here coming to you live from the Guerilla Cross Studios, downtown Las Vegas, right off of Fremont Street. And we are live, baby. Yeah. We got a great show lined up for you. It's a lot of fun. It was well worth the wait. You know, we're a little overdue here, but you know what? It's well worth the wait. In studio, up and coming superstar Blair Cobbs joins us. We're going to get to that in just a minute. His manager, PR guy extraordinaire, Mario Serrano's joining us too. Look at him. He's got the look. Yes, Oakland Raiders fan look. Quan59 doing the thing on the boards. And of course, I'm joined as always with the Sportsnista.
Hey.
Cassandra Cusino. CC.
What's happening?
How you doing? We had a bunch of breaking news right off the top. So let's dive right into it because we only got an hour.
Yeah, let's rip it.
Let's jump right into it.
Let's rip right through it. So, condolences out to the family of boxer Patrick Day, who passed due to injuries that he sustained in the ring in his last fight. By all accounts, I had never talked with him, but anyone who has said that he was a great kid, 27 years old. Too bad. We really wanted better news, did not get it. So condolences out to his family as well absolutely. To all of the boxing family out there. Yeah,
man. You know, that is a extremely tragic thing because, you know, a lot of sports we say you play football, you play baseball, but as I'm sure Blair here will testify, you don't play boxing, you don't play MMA. This game a lot of times is for keeps. Our thoughts and prayers out to Patrick Day's family, his friends, and all his fans who knew him and loved him. Incredibly tragic. You never want stuff like this to happen.
Never do, and it's just a reminder of the risk that these fighters take, not just in the ring, but also in camps. This is real stuff here. That's why we got a whole lot of respect for fighters on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hate to start a show off that way, especially when you have a boxer live in house and everything, but
it's real.
It's real.
Yeah, this is what we do. We talk about real stuff.
This is exactly what we do and everything. But we also had some news come down with Errol Spence, who was in a horrific accident. Luckily, he came out okay. But some news was handed down in Texas today.
Yeah. So just in the past 2 hours, they. I believe it's the Dallas Police Department had released a statement that he will be charged. So Spence is out of the hospital. Good news. He will be charged with a Class B DWI charge that carries anywhere from 30 to 90 days incarcerated and a $2,000 fine. So not a great legal punishment for him. It's likely his fight in February against Danny Garcia is going to be postponed. Again, glad that he's all right. This is a tremendous lesson for him to learn, and fortunately no one else was injured and having to learn the lesson with him. Errol, do better. Can't wait to see you back. Do better than
that, man. And also the crazy video a lot of people saw, Clarissa Shields, her brother. Wow. What can be said about that? Yeah. And also some news right after Errol Spence's news broke came down about Clarissa Shields' brother.
Yeah, so there was a sucker punch that was landed by someone in Clarissa's entourage on the trainer of the woman she was supposed to fight. That fight was canceled. Her fight was canceled. The card was not come to be. Right. It was actually her brother. Sometimes, man, it'll be your own family who be peeing in the pool. So he's looking at something like 20 years. It's a very significant charge that he's looking at. And, this had nothing to do with Clarissa. She's catching a lot of smoke as a result of it.
It's her brother.
It's her brother, but she didn't do it.
That's family, baby.
It's family, like I said. Sometimes it be your own people peeing in the pool. So, hope to see her again soon.
He's not going to get 20 years.
He's in trouble.
We do things different in Texas and everything. I know.
It's true.
I was there for 31 years. I know he ain't gonna get. But it's still some crazy stuff, and it all broke
Yeah.
one right after the other.
I was like, whoa.
It's crazy to even think and talk about. But all right, so we're going to get into some boxing here in just a minute. Let's cover UFC very, very quickly. We're just going to talk about the fallout with Joanna and Michelle Watterson. I wrote down in my notes here, it's the name of the show. There are levels to this stuff, right? There are levels to this stuff. Michelle Watterson was just on a level below Joanna, champion, or soon-to-be champion again. I know you caught the fight. We were kind of texting in between there. What'd you think of the fallout between Michelle and Joanna?
Ooh, so Michelle is good. Joanna is great.
Love
she
Michelle.
was outclassed
really
in this fight, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
No.
There are 5 women in that division ahead of Michelle. Any one of them can be champion.
Yep.
I think Tatiana Suarez is probably the one that has next in terms of being able to sustain a reign. You got Joanna. If Rose comes back, we don't know. Zhang Weili is still out there, and Jessica Andrade is still capable of dropping people on their heads. So it's going to be rough for Michelle. I think she's going to be a legit top 5, top 6 contender. But man, that mom champ is going to have to be something that's in here, and not something she wears around her waist. Unfortunately,
I was telling you during the fight, you know what? Those karate kicks she has, and she has a very good base of karate. Those karate kicks she has look very pretty. For karate kicks. But that front kick she kept throwing out there, she threw it about 30 times, man. It was about 12 inches away from Joanna's face. She was doing nothing but backing Joanna up for a split second, which is very pretty when you look at it. But the leg kicks and body kicks that Joanna was actually delivering.
It's a little different.
A little bit different. Those Muay Thai kicks deliver a little bit different than those pretty karate kicks in this instance.
Yeah, so I hope to see you again, Michelle, but we're going to see Joanna first.
I think she's going to be a little bit of a gatekeeper, which it's unfortunate because I really like Michelle. She's a really, really sweet person, a nice person.
Right.
Hell of an athlete, but
she looks, she's gonna F up some people.
Yeah.
So
she gonna mess up some people.
Do her thing,
But other people, Joanna Rose, people like that, she's not enough for her.
Yeah.
Not strong enough for her. She's definitely on the smaller side. No offense to you, but
I'm 6'11" on the inside. I keep trying to tell you.
You're a bulldog on the inside. I know that. I know you are. All right. Cobbs Swanson, Kron Gracie have one for the ages. Delivered, I think each of them delivered about 200 significant strikes, which in MMA, not much in boxing. I know you guys are used to delivering punches and bunches, but in MMA, 200 significant strikes each for each fighter. That's a lot, man. They did some damage to each other, and Cobbs Swanson comes out with the unanimous decisions. But what'd you think about the fight? Is it an instant classic like people are saying, or is it just kind of a slugfest? It's an instant
classic, and the stories of Cobbs Swanson's demise are greatly exaggerated. Cobbs still got it, and then we're going to see Kron again as well. He lost on the decision, but still, great fight. Really, stacked card. That card got a lot of people talked a lot of smack about that Tampa card, but it was active.
Oh, yeah, that was a great fight. And you know what? Special shout out to my guy, Ryan Spann, who fought on the prelims. I've been covering Ryan since he was an amateur fighter in Texas. And he went out there and he put those hands on Devin Clark, which is no easy task because how do you follow up knocking out a legend like Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira? Well, you follow it up by submitting a really tough guy in Devin Clark.
This is what you do.
Hey, that's what Ryan Spann does, man. Yeah. Shout out to my guy, man. Good for him. Good for him. He's out of Beaumont, but he's training in Dallas right now. Before we move on, you know what? A video is making the rounds the last 24 hours showing a 53-year-old Mike Tyson kind of giving some insight to some guys, showing them how to do some hip moves. I don't know. Blair, maybe you could tell me, break it down a little bit of what he's actually doing and why it's so scary at Mike Tyson at 53 years old. Come on, real quick. Can you play that video for us, brother? He's getting ready.
Keep talking.
We're all keep talking. Videos, coming up. But it's Mike Tyson. He's got a little gray in his beard. He's still got the bald. He's still got the face tattoo. He kept with that. Thought it's kind of a unique look back in the day, but he still got it. Here you go. 53-year-old Mike Tyson doing his thing.
Look how deep, you know what I mean?
Quick those turns are. Throwing those punches, maybe not quite the aggression of 19-year-old Mike Tyson.
Oh, absolutely.
But still,
Yeah, that's
he's
the
showing
mic. You
them,
don't
yeah.
want to. You don't want to
hit
miss
him,
that
you
mic.
hit him in the ribs, and then you come up when they protect the ribs. You hit him in the back of the head there.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff we work on in camp.
Right.
And it's amazing seeing somebody like Mike Tyson that's still able to do it and still able to pull it off, shift over. It's incredible.
It really is incredible to watch Mike Tyson do his
He'll
thing.
still knock somebody out. I think so.
Oh yeah! Don't
not try, Mike.
don't try
Can't
Mike.
sleep on him.
Don't try, Mike.
You know, we've interviewed Mike a few times, and there's sometimes you're just like, "Hey, it's a really cool dude," and then other time you're like, "This guy will knock me out." If
You
I say the
remember
wrong
he said
thing to
he'll
Mike,
eat your children.
yeah,
So.
yeah, if he told Lennox Lewis he was going to eat his children, I know he don't care about my kids. So I mean, all right. So that's kind of the news that came down. Let's get into our guest here, Blair Cobbs, Blair the Flair Cobbs. And yeah, I know you
Give it to him.
you see
Hold up,
where
hold up,
Cobbs,
hold up.
Give
See,
it
I
to him.
gotta stop you right there.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Electrifying, the kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, the most inspiring, the baddest man on the planet, anytime, anywhere, Blair, the Flair, Cobbs. Yes, I'm here, baby.
Oh no! Give us the woo.
Woo!
There you go.
No, I knew you guys were gonna wait for it.
Wait. Blair the Flair Cobbs is in studio. You know what? We're going to open it up. 702-608-3259. You got questions for my man here, questions about boxing in general. We got the guys to talk about. And, of course, your manager, PR publicist. Okay. Mario Serrano. Mario, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing
If
good.
you're in boxing and you don't know Mario, you
Yeah.
ain't in boxing.
You ain't really in boxing. You're on the outskirts or something. You're on some bare knuckle stuff, and that's okay. We give daps to our bare knuckle brothers. But if you don't know Mario, and if you don't know this young man coming up here, now we call him, you get called the Flair. Who named you the Flair?
I don't know. It just happened in the gym. It's this trainer named what's this guy name? He's a
Mustafa
prestigious
Muhammad?
Naseem Richardson.
Naseem Richardson.
For Naseem
okay.
Richardson, he used to come out to the fights. I'm like, this is in Philadelphia. He used to come out to the fights, the amateur fights and stuff. And he was like, come on, Blair the Flair, Blazing Blair, let's go. You know, and then people started saying it hit around the gym, and then it just caught on like wildfire. And like it just so happened that I used to do the woo, and I'm always flamboyant and out there,
Right.
and my personality is just clicks on the moment I step in the ring or
You
or
got
I'm
the
in the
hair,
gym.
you got the looks. You obviously dressed to the nines. I mean, you would never think that we're a podcast show. You know what I'm saying? You're
Can't
just
go to
way too
work.
nice for us, man. You gotta be blue jeans and a tattered shirt like some of these people on Fremont. But so I hear and I've heard through several times, you gotta tell us how you got started in boxing, the whole story. Let's go all the way back to the beginning.
Oh, man.
I mean, we don't need to know about your mom and daddy that night. We need to go a little bit further.
Yeah,
than
like, well, the birds and the bees, I was told.
how did you get started? I hear it's something to do with Mexico, dodging the FBI. I'm just going to hand it over to you.
Because real quick, before all that, you were like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
Of Beverly
Oh,
Hills.
Beverly
Of
Hills.
Beverly
Very
Hills.
close.
Oh, okay.
Very close.
I forget they got beef between Bel-Air and Beverly
Bel-Air.
Hills.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I used to live in Beverly Hills at the time, you know, in high school in like my first 2 years.
Really?
And yeah.
Like Clueless.
Absolutely.
Alicia Silverstone.
Actually, that's exactly why I went to Beverly Hills. I was like, you know what? I like that school. You know what? I want to
Hey.
go right there. And it's funny.
Everybody wanted to go to
Yeah.
that school.
Yeah.
I still want to go to
I
that
was
school.
totally in love with
Weird.
with the older lady that actually played on Clueless. Her name was Stacey Dash.
Stacey Dash.
Yeah, at the
yes.
top. It just so happened that I ended up knowing, Stacey Dash through a friend of mine that's That's her son. We're the same
That's so
age.
crazy.
Well, I don't have a crush on it for your information, but
sure you don't. I
but yeah,
don't
it was
either.
amazing that I got to meet so many like great
Right.
people. Percy Miller, known as Romeo, Little Romeo.
Little Romeo.
We were friends too at the time. It's a lot of pretty interesting like.
Okay. So
you know.
what? You went from Beverly Hills to boxing. How the hell did you get there?
Well, it was a series of unfortunate events.
Okay. All right.
Everything starts with a series of unfortunate events. And yeah, it's like one day I was living really good in Beverly Hills, had a mansion in Hollywood. We were living good. I have no clue what's going on.
Right.
Next thing you know it, everything goes down. My father has disappeared. And come to find out something bad has happened, obviously.
Wow.
Now I'm not the kind of person to watch the news, but like once I end up in Mexico, I'm like, you know what? There is definitely something wrong with this picture. And I look on the news and it's my father on the news. Like, yeah, I'm like, wow, it's that deep, you know? And yeah, we were
Are
on
we
the run.
allowed to say what happened with Dad? I mean,
I usually try to stay away from that, but
Okay,
yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
All right.
go ahead.
no. I mean,
You can-
what
yeah.
happened? I don't know. I'm
Oh, man,
genuinely
just-
all right,
intrigued.
let-
here.
We're free from those problems.
sure,
We're on a
okay.
brand new slate. It's okay.
Okay. All right. So something happened with Dad. We don't need to necessarily go into details. Yeah, I'm sure you could Google it or something.
Yeah,
No,
you
man.
could definitely Google it.
Yeah,
I think you should just say it, man.
Oh,
go ahead. Just tell us what happened with
that.
Dad.
Let me just ask a question, because when I read the story, I just read it. I did the interview with the dude, I set it up. I didn't really know what happened till I heard it. So evidently your pops was in the dope game for many years.
Okay.
whatever.
All right. All right.
So that being said, he had a plane that he was transporting some stuff. When I say stuff, we're talking like some heavy weight.
Like
Oh, yayo.
$24 million worth of
Maybe,
was like-
weight?
maybe a lot more.
It was
than
like
that.
Maybe a lot more than that.
500 pounds or something of cocaine.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he crashed the plane, right? And then he bounced out and then took you and your sister and fled to Mexico.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
He disappeared for a while, and I'm figuring out what's going on.
Okay.
And I guess the FBI was looking for him and everything, and I guess he had to figure out how to
Escape route.
escape route, how to flee the country and everything. At that particular time, I was in complete darkness and just like, man, I guess my mom and my dad died now. Now it's just a really bad day.
Yeah.
Like this Christmas is probably the worst, but it got way worse. But it's just what happened.
Darkest before the dawn.
How
kinda
did it
stuff,
get
right?
Yeah,
way
yeah.
worse? Like, what was an example of
So-
it being way worse?
Well, things got way worse. Like, cause that same thing happened again. When I was in America. Thank God. But it's a very
So
very
your pops
detailed-
was an entrepreneur, in a different kind of way.
That is a
Yeah.
very nice way to say that. Yes,
you know
absolutely.
what? I love you.
You know, I'm a writer.
She's
so
a publicist too, Mario.
I
Yes,
do
I-
write stuff. So your pops was an entrepreneur, but you weren't in the family business.
No.
Yeah, you were just kind of in the house. So you were 15 or 16 the first time you had to abscond, or
When that happened, yeah, I think I was about like 15 years old, and
you have a sister, right?
yeah, and I had a sister. I still have a sister. He's the closest
So
sibling I
older
have.
than you or younger than you?
Younger than me.
So you're younger.
But we
sister.
look like twins because the age difference is really close.
Okay.
It's like 1 year and a half.
Year and a half. So I'm
Wow.
doing that math on with mama. Like, so it was like, yep, I got little ones who were 18 months apart, so I understand. So y'all are
get
very
it.
close at that point.
Yeah. We weren't close until that happened. Until we had to actually flee the country. We became close, a lot closer
Yeah,
than we
you
were.
were all you had.
Because we didn't have anything. When you're young and a young adult trying to mold to society, trying to
Right.
figure out your own way.
Right.
And already at the time, I never really had friends because I was always jumping from place to place even before then.
Yeah.
But moving from America to Mexico was a experience where it was different. It was different than that because I could no longer be Blair Cobbs. I can no longer be me.
Right.
So it was completely taking your identity away from you.
Could you speak Spanish? at that time, or
It took a little bit of time. I started speaking Spanish. I kind of lost my ability to speak over the years when I came back from Mexico. But I speak a little bit, just enough to get around. I'm surprised at what I know, because most times I don't know what I know until I actually start speaking and somebody's talking to me.
Right.
You know?
yeah.
Right.
Can you say "Watch me fight"?
Watch me fight.
Uh huh.
Man. No, I have to hear
What
it.
can you say
What-
in Spanish? What can you say?
All the curse words
¿Qué
like all of us?
pasó?
We all learned the curse words.
Like,
Yeah, all the
this
curse
was
words.
crazy. Can you say something like that? This
Está
whole-
loco.
Okay, so you end up in boxing. Your dad does some extracurriculars. You're with your little sister. How does that lead you to boxing? Like, what is that foray into? Like, did you just see a gym, or did someone you tag along with somebody? Well, what's that journey like? I mean, how did you get started?
It all started like this. I was working out. I always thought that, like, I would do something. So I started doing some taekwondo in my little
Sure.
it was like a little country club or whatever. I was doing that for a little bit, literally like a couple of days. And I was playing on a basketball court, and mind you, I'm the worst basketball player ever. So
You haven't seen me in action.
trust me,
Or
you
quad.
never seen somebody so talented and so fast suck so bad.
You got me there. 'Cause I'm not talented or fast.
I'm the guy that you pick first, and then you regret picking me.
Man, you was my number one draft choice.
Yeah,
You let me down.
like, oh man, he had the best handles. He's super fast, but he just couldn't shoot worth a damn. Like,
So you're what? So you
so I meet a guy while I'm playing basketball, and I befriend him. We became friends. We hit it off.
Right.
And he took me to my first boxing gym. He's like, "Hey man, yeah, we should go to the boxing gym." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I've been dying to go to the boxing gym. I've been lying to people saying that I know how to box for a long time."
So they leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, this be awesome. I don't got nothing to lose anymore. It's like,
Right.
who cares at this point, So
Right.
I go to the gym, and on the very first day, I sparred.
Really?
Yeah. It was two guys I sparred. The first guy, I blasted him out. Now, mind you, I don't know anything about boxing. All I know is what, like, I see on, like, Rocky movies.
Sure.
So, like, I took all his punches, like, literally, pow, 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 just taking them punches, pow, pow. I'm like, oh, okay, you finished now? And then I start wailing on him. And I never seen him again after that.
Okay.
Like, I was in that gym every single day after that, and I've never seen him again. The other guy was a trainer, and come to find out, he was a really good professional fighter at the time. And man, all he did was just wait. He waited that 30 seconds of mayhem, bouncing around. I had like a style. They used to call me Apollo, like Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
because I had the afro, and I bounced around.
What?
And I had like a very Muhammad Ali type of style that I inherited.
You with style. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine. We have a caller? Let's patch him through. Caller, what's going on?
I'm doing well. How are you?
How are you, sir?
Doing well. Yeah, Mike. So my name is Mike Dixon. I'm a Vegas sports agent. I had to tune in real quick because I heard Blair was on. So how you doing, Sandra?
Hey, shout out to Mike Dixon,
Hey,
Vegas
Mike
Sports
Dixon,
Daily.
What's up, Big Mike?
Yeah. So, what's up, my man? So, hey, Blair, I had a question for you. Obviously a promising prospect in the welterweight division. So, what separates you from any other boxer in the welterweights?
What separates me from any other boxer, Mike, is the fact that I am the most entertaining fighter today. These fighters out here, it's not enough to be good. It's not enough to be good when the demand is to be great. I have a lot of speed, a lot of charisma, a lot of power. I'm a complete, true athlete that most people don't have that kind of ability that I have. And I match it all. I bring it all together with a very solid team that teaches me the good fundamentals of boxing.
That's excellent. Actually leads up to my next question. And can you tell me how important it is to promote yourself outside of your promoter as a boxer?
It's very important. You just look at all the great fighters. I'm not talking about good fighters, great fighters. Great fighters transcend the sport. My whole objective is to not just be good at boxing, not just be good enough to get a world title. My true purpose is to transcend boxing. So with that said, I have to get out there and do my thing, even though it's very organic and natural. It just happens when these lights come on. These lights come on, people are listening to me, and then I just get out there and shine.
Indeed, you do.
That's well said. Yeah, perfect. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Mike, for your
Mike.
call.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike has a
All right,
little
take
something
care.
for us as well. So
Mike Dixon.
we're going to let Blair actually give a little gift out a little bit, thanks to Mike Dixon and Vegas Sports Daily.
Yeah, we got some PFL tickets.
Free stuff.
PFL tickets.
Professional Fighters League tickets. Of course, they're here in Las Vegas tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be doing their thing. And so at the end of the show, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to PFL right here in Las Vegas. Our good friend Blair Cobbs is going to give those out to a caller, a commenter.
Caller. So what? Go ahead and like Vegas Sports Daily on Twitter or Facebook
Absolutely.
or Instagram, and Blair will decide which one of y'all is worthy.
Blair. Who is worthy, Blair?
Who is worthy?
Who's worthy?
Who's worthy, man? So
And they have to give me the Ric Flair. Woo!
Oh, there you go. The gauntlet's been laid now. The best woo.
The best woo.
Best woo.
To be the man, you got to beat the man.
There
right?
you go.
Absolutely.
So Blair, you get started. You think, what was your, or have you had it yet? That's an honest question here. Have you had your welcome to boxing moment? What was that thing where you're like, hey, this is for me, man. I love this. I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life.
Oh man. Well, I had a couple moments.
A couple of moments.
Yeah,
All
a
right.
couple moments. Coming from Guadalajara, Mexico. And I also was living in other little towns too. It's like the boxing world. We're all poor at that time, you know, and there's a lot of little moments. There was a moment where I watched Mayweather beat this guy. He was wearing pink. I believe his name was, what was his name? Baldomir. When I seen that happen, and he made it look so effortlessly, like it was so easy.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I'm faster than this guy. So I'm like, you know what, man? I just might be able to do that. You know,
I like it.
There was a point where, like, you know, after all the beatings in the gym, I did
Right.
nothing but win. Like in the actual fights, we
Right.
would fight every week, every other week. There would be fights, knockout, drag out wars in these
Amateurs.
amateur smoker fights. It was pretty interesting. I ended up like, it always starts like this, even in the pros. I always start out as like the alien that nobody likes.
Sure.
And we're trying to knock this guy out. Oh, let's put him up against the biggest guy that we can take, that we can give him. You know, let's overmatch him. Let's do this and that.
Right.
And I would go up there and show up and show out and please the crowd and change the hearts and captivate the audience. And and like little by little, I became a star within my little town of Guadalajara. It was beautiful.
We saw that recently, actually, with the fight against Villalobos. It was in Villalobos' hometown, right? I mean, and he got to you in the sixth, had you staggered a little bit, and then you ended up knocking him down in the ninth to end the fight. But eventually, the crowd was on your side.
Yeah, and that's how it happened in Mexico. That's exactly how it happened, even in Mexico. Whereas though it just started out a very tough crowd, and even in the gym, nobody liked me. They're like, "Oh man, this guy, he's just." I wonder how long this gringo is gonna last. You know.
But you know, it's interesting though, because you say, you know, people didn't quite know what to make of you. You know, you have brown skin, but you're not Mexican, correct?
Yeah. Well, I'm not Mexican, but I kind of am because of what I've been through.
Not by birth, but by proxy.
Yeah,
Man of the
by
people.
boxing. Boxing kind of connected me to Mexico forever, and not just boxing, but my life experience.
Right.
Like I know more about Mexico than most Mexicans that live here in America because I've lived there. I've been a part of the culture.
What were you
know?
doing there besides boxing? How did you spend your time?
Man.
Could you make any money? Were you making
There was
any
a lot of
money?
things.
Like,
There was a lot of
say that on air.
Yeah,
I don't-
listen,
No,
what
no,
were you-
it's we could say it on air. It just might be a bad day, you know. But look, let's just put it like this. In Mexico, I was doing a few things. I was a very lonely person. You know, that's probably why when the lights are put on, I act out like a child. I'm like, cause like deep down, I'm still a child at heart. And you know what happens to children that don't get any love? They act up.
Oh.
You know?
They get whooped.
They act up, then get whooped.
You know what goes on at Cece's house? She beating her kids.
Come
Left
on,
and right,
it's
baby.
happening
Just
to
one
all of
woman,
us.
you
We
know
all
which
beating
one
our
it is.
kids. Come on.
Mario, I got a quick question for you, man. You see a young fighter like this. You see a young, hungry guy. He's got the look. He's obviously a handsome young man. You know, and he's got the skill to back it up. You know, as a publicist, as a guy looking at what sets this guy apart and makes you go, yeah, I need to hook up with this guy.
Well, I always tell them you got to really, really turn it on when we at these fights.
Right.
Everybody wants to see the woo, man. Everybody wants to see the flair. They want to see you.
Right.
They want to see you entertain. He just got a natural gift to entertain the crowd with his own unique style. Nobody's like Blair. Blair is very unique. I mean, his trainers will tell you, anybody who knows him, he walks out to rock music. You know what I mean? He's just not your typical
Right.
African American folks. You know what I mean? This guy's
Got a little Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, he got a little Jimi Hendrix, and he can fight, man. They got the kick fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, him being a southpaw and because he didn't start boxing at an early age, his style is just so unique. He's just like a guy that kind of is doing things way different, and it works for him.
Right.
So you got to just keep doing that, and you know, learn how to do certain things that you're maybe not as good at, and just keep going. But yeah, when you just wrap him up, he's a genetic freak. First of all, I mean, you know, no fat on him. This guy's just a genetic freak when it comes to his body and his athletic ability. So the hair. I mean, the guy, he's just got all that stuff.
The total package.
So I'm telling him, like, bro, you got to keep doing this. You got to keep speaking up at these fights. Mingle with the fans and talk to the people. Like when he does his post-fight interviews, I mean, everybody loves that. And then I go up to press row and I'm telling everybody what's up. Like, hey, man, you guys got to start following this guy. Just Steve Kim, ESPN. I'm like, dude, just check him out. And then Steve's starting to pay attention. All these guys starting to pay attention. It's like, dude, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I work with a lot of good fighters, and they got to take my word when I'm telling them to look at these guys, because all my guys are dope. You know what I'm saying? So Blair's one of a lot of guys that he knows, all the guys I work with, all top level guys, and he's one of them. And I'm here right now with him, supporting him because I believe in him. You know what I'm saying? Greg Hanley's our boss, Prince Ranch Boxing. I got to give a shout out to Greg Hanley. He's my boss. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of fighters. He has the Prince Ranch Boxing Gym out there in Vegas where Bones trains Blair and all our trainers over there, all our fighters. So, you know, it's just one little family right now. And Blair's the one that is making a lot of noise. Golden Boy has signed him. You know, he's our only fighter with Golden Boy. So to be with Golden Boy, they're predominantly more Mexican fighters. So Blair's like this new shining star.
There you go.
And you got to understand when Blair, like he said, they putting him tough. They put him tough.
Yeah.
He's not fighting easy fights. So his first big win over there was when he went to the Armenians' backyard and beat him down in his own backyard.
Right.
Yeah, it was a convincing win. He learned a lot. It was a fight everybody thought he was going to lose as far as the odds makers and people. He was the underdog. He's going in the guy's backyard. And this is Armenian guy. I don't know if you know about that culture in LA.
It's a different type of style.
I got DM'd by somebody that won nearly $1 million betting on me.
Oh my goodness.
I was like a 16-1 underdog.
Oh, wow.
And this man nearly made like $500,000. I think it's a little over $500,000 with just $50,000.
There was a line on the card. There was a line you could have bet on Blair to win. He was a big underdog against this guy because the guy was undefeated. He was fighting in his hometown. It was just all hometown favor. He was the A side.
Right.
But the
So
first
get your money up.
so the first round, Blair ripped him with a shot and ripped his eye open. Boom.
Oh, man.
Right out the gate, and then he just put a beating on him till the end, and he won that fight. And that's really what kind of just everybody's like, okay, Blair, bah, and then he won it, and then he turned it on the next fight. Another guy that only had one loss, and then he just beat this other dude that was undefeated. Had to go through some adversity, got dropped in the 6th, came back, and then knocked him out.
Back, does his
So,
thing.
I mean,
See,
They wasn't buying after the first fight.
but
Right.
that,
Right.
yeah,
They wasn't
100%.
buying. I'm like, come on, that was the real deal. That was the real deal. No, that might have been a fluke. Okay, let's run it back. And we fought 2 other fights back to back. No breaks in between. Just literally back in the fight camp and fought another tough fighter. Even the guy,
Redmond.
Robert Redmond.
Yeah, he was good.
He was
He's
he was
good, yeah.
technically undefeated. If you look at his record, he has 2 draws and 1 loss, which was very controversial
Right.
because he was a B-side dude. And they were like, okay, well, what are you
Couldn't
gonna
get the
do with a
decision.
black guy now? I'm like, okay, we're gonna eat him up. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna put you in with a musket, and like, oh, now you're the, I'm
See, I
thinking
mean-
like, hey, I might be the crowd favorite. I fought here already. No, it wasn't. It was the opposite.
Look, come get these multicultural beatings.
Multicultural
No,
beats.
we do a lot. Talking to the listeners, they hear us talking about your power and how well you do in the ring. You know what? Your next chance to see him is on this Canelo undercard here in the next couple of weeks, man. You get the phone call, your manager, whoever's like, hey, we got you your next fight. You're fighting on the Canelo Sergey Kovalov undercard. What is the thoughts going through your mind? Like, I mean, what was your instant reaction?
My instant reaction, say what? Woo! That's right, baby. It's time to show up and show out.
Right. Because you are
Can't wait.
you're the 2018 Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame Prospect of the Year. So you were on the radar of
Yeah.
some folks already. I mean, we saw you down the red carpet, and the hair was glistening and glowing. And I even asked you, like, why you think people aren't taking you seriously?
Most people, they don't like. It's the same with me. You never really know how good a person is or even how great a person is until they're going through some stuff, until they go on through some type of adversity to get to where they are. See, like right now we have this kid named Ryan Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Is he really as good as Blair Cobbs? Most likely not. But we need to know how good he really is. And how do we know how good he really is? Because most people right now is just thinking like, you know what? Like after all the glitz and glamour and the views on Instagram, I don't know. I think he's really just a sham.
You think
Now-
he's an Instagram fighter?
No, I'm not saying that.
Be
but
fighting on social media?
but that's what people are going to say. People are going to think that. And even I think that sometimes, like, you know what? I don't know how good this man is until he battled through some adversity. See, that last fighter from Philadelphia, I know exactly who that guy was. That would have been a perfect test to see how good he
Right.
really is, because that guy actually fought some fighters. This other guy from the Philippines, he
Duno.
might not. Yeah, Duno. He's been training in the gym. He's a really good fighter. That possibly can present a good test for him. Is it as good as the guy in Philadelphia? Possibly not, but it would be a good opportunity for him to show how good he truly is, and become somebody that's taken serious.
So the point you're making though is that he has a big, huge following on Instagram, millions of followers. He's
Yeah,
got all this popularity. Is he the goods?
Yeah.
Here's Blair the Flair. Might not have all that. Really flamboyant and great. Is he the real deal?
He's 12
and you're
oh.
proving it.
Right,
Yeah,
you're 12
I'm
and
proving
0.
it.
You're
I'm
going.
proving
You're
it.
going through
Yeah.
the
I'm proving
gauntlet.
it.
But
I'm
Mario,
proving it over
how-
and over again.
In this day and age, Mario, how important is that for young fighters who are just starting out their careers and everything?
It's everything.
To build that fan
This
base.
is the digital world, man. You can reach so many people on a click of a button, so it's very important.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do.
Does that factor into getting bigger and better fights anymore?
Yes, it does. It does. It really does, because people will know, okay, if for instance, if Ryan Garcia is fighting, he just sends out a tweet. Boom, you got potential 300 1,000 people are gonna buy the pay-per-view. Who knows? Or order the zone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Or at least
that's
20.
That's the whatever.
Something.
Anything. You know what I'm saying? So like they know that reach, and it's an important thing. You know, their sponsors.
So is that something that promoters actively do? They look at, maybe your Twitter followers or Instagram, and they go, okay, well, this guy's not quite there yet. Let me get this other guy who's got 75,000.
I would say
fans
yes.
or followers
I would
instead
say
of
it makes a
10,000.
difference. I mean, but if you could fight, you could fight, and so that's why
Right.
Blair's not getting the easy route.
Right.
Ryan Garcia's getting the easy route to his
Right.
fights because he's got that social media.
Sure.
Blair doesn't have that crazy social media, so they're putting him in tough. Okay, we'll see what's up.
You have to prove
Okay.
it in the ring and
Yeah.
not like with your thumbs.
Yeah, because that's how he's gonna gain his followers.
Gotcha.
By going through this tough modes, and if a fighter can go rise to the top, you got something special. So now, you know what I mean? He's fighting on the Canelo card.
So you're on the Canelo card. You're training with Bones. How did that happen?
Oh man, it's kind of like a God gifted experience. I moved out to Vegas from Philadelphia. I couldn't get nothing done. I was homeless, going through hard times,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get anything done. I was almost pretty much retired, definitely inactive for
How
3
old?
years.
Because you had turned pro already.
Yeah, I turned pro at the perfect age.
Oh,
But
that's that period, like what, 2016, 17, something like that. You weren't
yeah,
really fighting.
I was off the radar completely. I was so mad at just like everything that's happened in my career and how things were transpiring and my abilities not to even get anybody. It got so bad we started calling out like the best fighters in Philadelphia. Like, you know what? All right, this guy. How about this guy? How about that guy? Anybody. Matter of fact, can we do some sparring at least? It got so bad because I had a pretty tough resume as far as beating people down in the ring and in the gyms in Philadelphia and in the amateurs. I was probably like one of the bigger names, probably the biggest name in the amateur game.
You were like the boogeyman in the gym, and so nobody wanted to actually be that test for you on a bigger card.
No, absolutely. That's exactly how it is. Absolutely. And that put me in a position where I had to go all out. I had to leave Philadelphia. Leaving Philadelphia is a very hard thing to do. There's bars in that city that you don't see. There's ceilings in that air that you don't see. Like,
yeah, right.
You get what I'm saying? You're dealing with poverty. You're dealing with oppression. You're dealing with violence. You're dealing with guns, drugs. You're dealing with everything that's all spiraled up. Even like police brutality. You're dealing with everything that's all together. And I somehow survived that lifestyle and made it out here. I left out with literally nothing. I packed up my bags and my Cadillac CTS with my little family and literally just drove off a prayer.
Right.
And it was literally the only way I got there was through miracle after miracle. And then when I finally got to Vegas, it was a miracle, and even in that point.
Did you seek Bones out, or how did you find?
See, it's funny how you said that, because I was seeking stuff internally. I'm like, you know what, God, something's got to happen here, man. But you know what? I'm way better off than over there. I'd rather be homeless here and living in a tent here than over there. But I was going through that whole situation, and a cousin of mine that happened to have been in jail had
Locked up with Bones.
Yeah, locked up with Bones, and he told me to look. We know somebody. I've been talking. It's kind of like the talk through the grapevine throughout the prison cells and everything. It's like, yeah, my man Blair, he's gonna go somewhere. I'm telling you, he's gonna go somewhere. He's like, yo, and then Bones like, yeah, well, you think so? All right, well, we'll give you a shot. Let's see what he got then. If he's good like he say he is, then I'll take him somewhere. And I just showed up on his doorstep. And it's funny because where I was like actually living at the time, because I luckily somehow found a family member that could let me hold it down for a second, let me sleep in one of his extra rooms, and And it's funny because he was literally down the street. So I'm
Bones?
like,
Wow.
yes. I'm like, yes, it's not like a big long commute
Right.
thing. I can
Yeah.
at least give it a shot. So
Right.
I gave it a shot for the first week, and he looked at me. He's like, look, man, I think you're special. I think we can definitely do something, man. Like, you're gonna be my first fighter, and I'm gonna take you all the way.
And this is when Bones got locked up for some things, and he got
Yeah.
out. Wasn't in there for a long time, but it's kind of a trick because Bones, 2-time world champ, gets out of jail, and then him and Blair hook up. So this is like,
It's very serendipitous. So the whole, your whole story. It's
Right.
like you were in places that were supposed to get you to the next place. It just didn't look like it. Like, you know, from
Yeah.
Mexico to New York to Philly to Vegas.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know how crazy it is? It's not too far of a concept that Blair Flair will be the #1 welterweight in the world. And it's not too far of a concept that me and Canelo might even fight.
Right.
And you know the crazy part? That would just be going full circle because we were actually fighting like in the same cards in amateurs
In Mexico.
in Mexico. In Mexico. You know, his mentor was my trainer.
No.
Cholo Larios. Oscar Larios.
Yeah.
I was training with these guys. You know,
That's an incredible
Yeah,
story.
It's crazy.
That's not far off.
it's
not
not
far
too
off.
far off to
Wow.
believe, like, best believe it will happen because the way life is unraveling, it just can't stop happening. You know,
I mean, this is a movie. This whole thing. It's
Yeah.
like,
It has the makings of a movie, you know.
Makings of a movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, I mean, and the final act hasn't even been written yet, and it's already intriguing.
It's nuts, man. So you're gonna appear on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez, Sergey Kovalev, November 2nd,
Mhm.
there in a couple of weeks. Going into it, how do you feel? Obviously, your spirits are high, you know. But how is the training camp? How do you feel going into it? What statement are you hoping to make?
the training camp was great. I feel like I'm on fire.
Okay.
Everything that I'm doing is always better than the next day. I mean,
Right.
better than the last day.
Right.
It seems like every single day I'm getting better. And it's weird because there's more things about me that's getting better. I'm getting taller. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting smarter. You know, I'm getting younger, and I got
You getting
pimples.
taller?
I got pimples on my face right now.
Hold up.
This-
You getting taller?
Yeah, that happened. That actually happened.
You
That
Benjamin Buttoned it.
he grew like
Yeah,
an inch and a
Benjamin
half. Like
Buttoned
a couple
it.
last
What
year.
around? Like somebody
Weird
had their
stuff.
foot in your back and you had to like stand up straight, or what was going on?
I went through puberty, and like I think it's coming back again.
Again?
Actually, yeah,
Puberty's
I went,
coming back.
I went through puberty.
We don't watch
It
this
would
one.
be a nightmare for all of us, but for you, it's a blessing.
Right.
No, it was a blessing, but it was real strange because like like I'm getting like acne on my back. This is in 2018. I'm like,
Hey,
I'm like,
in
what's going
puberty,
on with me?
Mario had
Yeah.
a full head of blonde hair. I tell you that one. I could tell from his look, man.
You
So
said
let-
you was in Mexico. Like I was like, you attribute it to the steak, or what was going on? You know, it's like
It's
Canelo
the
had that
steak.
steak.
yeah, it was
Be careful
crazy, and
there.
I got tons of stories, man. Like one time, I used to make churros.
Like the donut, like the treat.
Yeah, like the churros.
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 Yeah, help him out.
I made churros, and
He ain't that
it's
Mexican.
funny, like, cause I just wanted a friend, so I would make these churros, prepare them up, and season them with
The churros were your friend?
huh?
What?
Churros.
I would,
What store are we going
Nah,
to?
he was.
I would do all kinds of things just to have friends.
Okay.
So he would make churros.
So
and
you
give
make
him-
them for
Yeah.
other
Where
kids.
would you take
I
these
would make it
churros?
for the
okay.
for the
School,
kids in
right?
Mexico.
I thought
'Cause,
you were
like,
talking to churros.
Yeah, because I
was
used
like,
to
that's a
go to
different kind of
school
level.
out there, so like I went to school in
Gotcha.
Mexico, and I would actually prepare churros to give out to other kids.
Can you
Gotcha.
still make them?
Yeah, it's not too far. It's not too hard at
All
all.
On a show coming up soon, we're gonna have churros live from Blair.
I'm gonna sell them at a stand. It's called
Very,
Blair
very
Flair
quickly
Stand.
looking at that fight, Canelo and Sergey Kovalev. Give me your take on it. Who do you see coming out victorious?
I
between
mean,
these guys?
I don't really know. They're saying Canelo is gonna knock him out. Canelo's gonna beat him and this and that. But last time I checked, Kovalev was a tough fighter.
Tough
never
guy.
really backed down from anybody. And then you think about it, who he lose to. I don't know about this last guy he lost to,
Yeah.
but there's 2 fights he lost, and he lost to the best
Andre
fighter
Ward, yeah.
possibly ever.
Absolutely.
Andre Ward never took a loss since he was like since he got a spanking from his dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Right.
That was the last go.
So, okay. So we'll put it on Canelo. What do you think, Cece?
I think Canelo is perhaps the most gifted fighter in the game. I look at Lomachenko and I look at Errol Spence as well, and you gotta think Canelo is at his peak right now, and Kovalev is not at his peak right now.
Yeah.
Even though Canelo's coming up in weight, I look at him to be able to do some things in there that are creative. And everybody's talking about the body. He's going to go to the body. Kovalev's body is weak. Hey, anybody can get hit in the body. It's going to hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like any more significant than anyone else he's going to fight. But it's a huge fight for Canelo, and it's in Vegas. So if it goes to decision, it's going Canelo. So.
There you go. Mario, I know you got to stay a
That
little
man
bit
is big,
objective
though.
here, but Mario,
Huge
how do you
fight.
see it?
Huge
fight.
Okay, so I'm not a big Canelo fan. I just not. I thought Lara beat
killing
him.
me.
Lara's my boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I got a lot of respect for Canelo though.
Right.
He didn't have a big amateur career, and he came up in the pros fighting a lot of, maybe you want to say, guys that weren't at the top level.
Sure.
But that's when he was learning. And he's learning. He's never been scared to go fight Lara and go fight these guys. He got in the ring with all these dudes. So now he's taking on Kovalev. You gotta give him credit. And stylistically, styles make fights. He just might be too quick for Kovalev. But
At this
I'm
point,
just
right?
wondering if Kovalev cracks him with one
If he
shot,
catches him.
dude.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, because he's a big. He's 100.
yeah.
What's the fight at 168, 175?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Canelo's a smaller guy. He's only 5'10", 5'9".
Right.
I mean, he's gonna fight a bigger dude, so he's gonna have to box.
Can he
I
take
think-
that big shot?
Yeah, I think he's gonna win, and he's gonna win on the decision.
Do you
That's what I-
see any similarities, Mario, between when Mikey Garcia jumped up to fight Errol Spence, and then you seeing now with Canelo fighting Kovalev?
That's a good question. I think it's a little bit different because Mikey really is a small guy. He's fought at 130, and then he's jumping up 35, 40, 47. Canelo was already kind of a bigger guy.
Yeah.
It was hard for him to make 160. You know what I mean? So he's naturally a little bit bigger. So I think it's going to be a little bit more beneficial to him because he'll be able to last a little bit longer, being that he's just a little bit bigger. He's not going way up. He's
Right.
going up, but not
Right.
like way up. And
Yeah.
he's older now, so he's bigger. He's just, he's going to weigh more. You know what I mean? So I think he's just going to be able to handle it a little bit more than what Mikey was able to do against Spence.
So did he lose the first fight with Gennady?
Yes,
Yeah.
I had Gennady winning both fights.
Both of them?
Everybody
Yeah.
had
I had winning the
Triple
first.
G
I
winning
had
that
Triple
first
G
one.
winning the first
I
one.
had
No,
him
I
winning
thought
both
Canelo
of
did pretty good at
I
making
I
them
thought
miss.
he won both fights. That's just me.
You and the 3 judges are the only people
Oh no,
that
no,
saw that
no!
one.
See,
No,
no, look,
no,
I
I-
don't judge the
I
fight.
saw him winning the second one. I thought that Canelo won that second one because
Yeah.
let me tell you, I was at a Santana concert. Husband forgot that
You
it was
were
a
at a
fight
Santana
night. He
concert.
forgot. He
Because it was
forgot.
1999
No,
when she saw
he
it.
forgot.
She
but
saw it
I
in the
had it on
future.
my phone. I periscoped it. Don't judge me. I periscoped it, and so I was sitting there like in a mosh pit of fight fans. We were sitting down. Everybody was over my shoulder watching it, and it hits differently when you're watching it on a small screen and you can't hear what's going on. You're just looking at the fight, and Canelo controlled that entire pace of the fight, and he had Gennady backing up.
Blah,
And
blah,
so.
blah, blah. 702-608-3259. If you want to yell at Cece for her hot
Hey,
take there on
come on.
a
I
3-year-old
mean, it
fight.
wasn't a big
That's a
robbery.
fair-
it wasn't a huge robbery.
No,
it wasn't.
it could have went either way. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look back at it, yeah, maybe he did a lot better than people thought, but
But the difference between him and Mikey Garcia, Mikey doesn't move his head. He had the only defense he had to have in order to stop the onslaught that Earl Spence was throwing is just having his hands up. So when
under
he's getting hit with that impact, he's not able to get any punches off.
Yeah.
Because every time it's time for him to throw something, he's off balance. So it like that's a dramatic difference. And the fact that Kovalev isn't like a high volume puncher. He's going to try to place his shots a little bit more, and he's not going to try to throw a whole lot of jabs. I think it's going to be a very good fight that Canelo could easily pull it off if he doesn't gain too much weight and gets too sluggish, or if something bad doesn't happen, like he sprained his knee or something. Yeah,
he's gonna have to box him.
Yeah, he's got to box him.
Right.
And he could box.
This is who has more to lose? Who's got more to lose?
Man, see, when it comes to that, that's where boxing needs to just take a different approach. Dude, you're fighting the best. The best of the best are gonna fight. I mean, so say if Canelo lost, did he really lose it all? I mean, the best are fighting the
he
best,
got
man.
365 mil.
Yeah, I know. So it's like,
Yeah.
people are gonna take L's, man. This is boxing, just like MMA, man. They're gonna take L's, but the best are fighting the best, and no matter what, I don't think there is no losers. It just all depends how the fight goes. If somebody quits, then you're a loser. But if you go all out and you lose, say he goes all out, and maybe he goes out on his shield. What? Okay, Canelo got knocked out by Kovalev. Okay, just thinking, worst case scenario. Did he really lose a lot? Does he have a lot to lose? Everybody saw him go all out. He went all out. He went on his back. And that's all you can ask for from a fighter that's at the top level. You want them to just go all out. And that's what I like about Canelo. I'm very critical on him, maybe because I'm not a big fan, but I give him a lot of props because he'll fight anybody. He ain't no bitch. He ain't bitching out against anybody. He's fighting the best.
Right.
And that's what he's doing. When he fought Lara, he did. Everybody didn't think he was going to take that fight. And he did. Some say he won, some of his loss, but he didn't get blown out, and it was close to him. He's
not that big of a robber.
He lost to Mayweather. Okay, arguably one of the best fighters ever. So it's like he's taking the big fights, man. That's what the fans want to see. The best fighting the best.
Very quickly, very quickly, coming up November 23rd, of course, the big heavyweight rematch, Luis Ortiz, Deontay Wilder 2. How do you see it going, man? The heavyweights, as the heavyweights move, so does boxing. What do you think, champ?
I think a knockout within 3 to 4 rounds.
Wilder?
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay, Wilder. CC?
Oh yeah, and he has to. I mean, he has to
He
give
got
him
dropped
the
in the first one.
Dominic.
He got staggered in the first
He got to
one.
give him the Brazil treatment, though. Like, you got to get him out there quick and don't mess up the money. Even though Fury tried to mess up the bag, like, he can't do it. You got to get him out fast.
Mario?
I'm a little biased because I'm with Ortiz. So.
Oh, okay, you're with Ortiz.
Yeah, so
obviously your pick is Wilder, right?
I think Ortiz is gonna win this fight, man. I'm telling you right now.
He gave him
Wilder,
a lot of trouble. He gave him a lot of trouble in that first one.
This is a boxer.
Almost had him finish.
This is a boxer that's been in the game, man. He comes from the Cuban school of boxing. He's a big guy.
He's Cubano. He might be 300, 400 years old. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't even know how old that man is.
But he's in good ass shape and he's lean. He's a younger guy.
He's a young 47.
I'm biased. So
he's a young 300. All right, before we close it all out here.
We still got a ticket giveaway.
We got a ticket giveaway. PFL tickets on the line here. But let's take a look at this hockey video we got going on. Now, it's one thing to have your family in your corner when you're boxing, and that's what you do for a living.
Yeah.
I think it's a different level of love whenever you play hockey and your dad's filming you in a fight and cheering you on at the same time. So we got a little bit of this going on. Play that for us, Quan.
Come on, kid. Swing. Swing, boy. Get one off. Help him.
The whole team.
To the ref, dude.
Did he say the ref? See off on the ref? And I love this little look right here at the end. The sun looks up. The son looks up at the end, waves to the dad who's filming
Epic.
everything. That is a beautiful, beautiful moment between father and son. Hockey team. Did he actually say tee up on the ref?
He did.
Yeah.
Did he say, okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, kids.
Yeah. They got paperwork for
If
that.
you're watching Levels, do not hit the referee as much as you might want to sometimes, right? As much as you might want to. So, I don't know how the PFL tickets are going to be given away. Let's give those away before we
Yeah.
go off air
Well,
here.
Blair, you got the paper in front of you. I think we just want
Absolutely.
people to drop a comment.
Hey, anybody, come. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Drop a comment. Vegas Sports Daily, and Blair the Flair is gonna drop you those tickets, baby, from Mike Dixon.
Mike Dixon.
Right on. Fights tomorrow night. Get your Twitter figures up.
It looks good, man. It's the playoffs, right?
Yep.
Is
PFL
this mostly a Vegas audience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we
well,
worldwide.
Because
But
there's,
if you in
I
Vegas,
I want to promote. There's fights next. Let's see, on November 1st, there are the fights at Sam's Town, the local show,
It's the
So,
Mayweather promotion.
Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah,
Those are
Sin
always
City.
fun.
Sin City
Yeah,
Showdown.
man,
They're
those are
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Always. There. Get out there and support your local.
Get out.
Yeah,
fighters,
support
man.
your local fighter. That's
Tons
all
of
I'm
great
trying
guys
to say.
coming out of
Yeah.
all
That's all
of
I'm
these.
trying to say. Support your
Not
local
only
fighter.
Practically costs you nothing,
Yeah.
man.
and you
25,
get
30.
in there and you see the whole
Some
boxing
great action.
community.
It's gonna be Showtime
Have
card.
fun.
You see
Everybody
a
shows
a
up.
lot of great
Yeah.
up and coming fighters before you ever see them on pay per view.
Showbox.
You see them, Sam's Town Live, all the boxing gyms around here.
Yep.
They got a lot of great fighters coming up. So get out there, support your local fighters. Blair Cobbs, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for spending the hour with us.
Where can we find
Taking
you?
time. Yeah, where can folks find you? Follow along
You
with
can
you.
find me on Blair the Flair on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, BlairTheFlair.com. You name it, we got it, Blair the Flair. Woo!
He's on Twitch. He's on TikTok.
I'm on TikTok.
He even reopened a Friendster account just for all the people here who are over 35. Some people right here.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna point them out. Well,
We
Mario,
still got
thank you so much.
We still got MySpace. MySpace.
We got MySpace.
I'ma
We
check.
have disgruntled everything here. For Quan, Cece, thank you so much. Mario, thank you
Sir,
for
yes,
joining
sir.
us. Blair, best of luck. Canelo undercard coming up here in a couple of weeks, November
Absolutely.
2nd.
The
You're gonna
most
do-
electrifying show is coming long before the awaited main event bout, and it's Blair the Flair versus Ortiz, and we're gonna put on a really good show.
Yes.
Ortiz, he gets one name because his first name is Slim and his last name is None. So we're gonna call him by his middle name, which is Ortiz.
Ortiz.
That's because that's his odds. His odds is Slim and None against Blair Cobbs.
You're suspect, Ortiz. All right, man. For everyone here at Guerilla Cross Studios, I'm Jeremy Long. She's Cassandra Cousineau.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at a regular time next week, Thursdays, 6 to 7 p.m. right here. See you next week.
All right.
Get